Hey, what's up guys? Justin here. Friday morning. I was hoping for a big Friday morning because I'm actually off of work today, so I don't have to rush or anything. But once again, there's not a lot going on. I'd say that I have like 10 to 12 sales on my list if I do the entire list, which involves going 2 towns over. But I think I'm gonna do that this morning just because, for one, I don't have to work, and for two, I'm not gonna be able to go to many garage sales tomorrow morning. I've got some plans earlier in the morning that's gonna keep me from most of the sales anyway. I'll probably still hit a few, but let's see if I can make something of this morning and turn this into a halfway decent weekend. All right, so here's where I'm at. I just stopped at this sale over here. This is the same house that I bought all of those boxed Super Nintendo games from in the past few years. Probably my greatest garage sale find ever. And so I ended up buying, there's this Gundam Wing like wall scroll and this Masters of the Universe figure. But I asked her, I said, hey, you know, I'm the one that bought all those video games from you in the past. Do you have any more? And she's like, oh no, they're all gone. She's like, well, we have a Game Boy and some stuff, but I have to ask my kids if they want to sell it. So she goes into the house to get me a piece of paper for me to write my number down and comes out with the Game Boy stuff. And she had a few Game Boy systems, boxed games. She had sealed Game Boy games. There was boxed Pokemons. I didn't even look through them all. She gave me a case of all games, like all the Mega Mans that were in there, it looked like. So anyway, I left my number. I let her know as soon as you like get the okay from your kids that they want to sell this, I will be right here if you want to give me a call. And I don't know how much she's getting. I offered her $50 right then and there to see if she would just bite on it to kind of feel it out a little. And she said she was looking to get a little bit more. I would pay way more, but I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to show all my cards right then and there. So I'm hoping that she follows through and gives me a call or text this afternoon, and I can come back up and grab this stuff because this is a pretty sweet bundle. Let's see. Oh, cool, some older stuff.
Yeah, I got the 64. This should be the right. Yep, that's the right AV cord. 3 controllers. Battle Tank, Turok, that was a classic. Mario Kart, Stream G, Turok 2. Let's see. Tetrasphere, Mario, Forsaken, Cruising USA, Big Mountain, Donkey Kong, Star Fox, Zelda. Yep, the original Game Boy.
Cool, yeah. How much would you want for all of it? I'm probably gonna grab that Wii too.
I don't even remember what games I got.
Brown.
I know, I'm looking at, make sure I got all the games in here. I forgot how small these things were.
Yeah.
Paperboy, WWE, Tetris, Solar Strike, I don't even know. I think it's like Asteroids. Quicks, Metroid, Donkey Kong Land, that was good. And there's one in here too. I remember I had one short case, so I didn't. Oh, Tetris Plus. I haven't played it in forever.
Yeah, I know that older Game Boys can be kind of temperamental, but I mean, I'd just take it as is or whatever, depending on how much you're looking to get for it. What else we got in here?
Let's see, Lufia 2, Secret of Mana, Phantom.
Yeah, there's some in here I've been looking for.
Yeah, what you looking for? Anything specific?
I like those old, like, the role-playing games.
Yeah.
Man. That's... Okay, I am literally shaking right now. I gotta pull over to tell this story. And there's a cop up here, so I should probably pull over. Anyway, so this was like a huge stroke of luck. So I was at that sale that had those Xbox 360 Connect games, and I didn't buy any of those. I left that sale, I was headed to the next one. I got like a half-mile down the road, and I get a Facebook message from somebody that I'd messaged last night and asked if they were gonna have any game stuff. And it was the message was from the lady at the sale I was just at, and they said that they had just brought out a Wii system for 10 bucks. So I turn around, I go over there, I'm checking out the Wii system, yeah, for 10 bucks. Then her husband or fiance or whatever brings out that tub of 64 stuff that you saw, and there was some Game Boy stuff in there. I bought that. They take me into the basement, and that's where I saw that tub of the NES and Super Nintendo games. There was Snow Brothers, there was Secret of Mana, Lufia, Breath of Fire, Contra Force. I didn't even see what else was in there. The guy did not want to sell it. You could tell. He had an attachment to it. I pulled out $100 and said, I'll give you $100 for the box right now. And he thought about it for all of probably a good 30 seconds and sold it to me for $100. And I didn't get the Super Nintendo system. He's still got to look for that and some PlayStation games. But I'm hoping that he'll hit me back. And even if I don't get that stuff, I can't wait to go home and go through this. I can't stop thinking about those Game Boy games, though. I got a few more sales to hit, and then we'll see what I can do about that Game Boy stuff. So I have hit all the garage sales out in the area where I'm at. It's been about an hour and a half or so since I was at that Game Boy sale, so I think what I'm going to do is just casually make my way back there. Got to stop at the ATM. There's a hardware store up this way that I got to grab something at, so I'll just kind of take my time and then gingerly make my way back to that Game Boy sale just to follow up and see if, you know, the thing is, I don't want to like risk annoying her or creeping her out by going back there, but at the same time, just the vibe that I get from her is that she just doesn't really care. Like, she vastly underestimates the desirability of the stuff she has, and I'm just worried that if I go home and sit around and wait for a phone call from her, that she's going to throw it out at the garage sale and someone's going to scoop it up. Funny enough, it makes me feel a little bit better that she knows that it's worth more than $50 and she's not just going to throw it out for $1 a game and have someone scoop it up like I've done with her games in the past. But we'll see. We'll see what I can make happen here. Wish me luck. Well, this morning just keeps getting better. I was on my way back to the Game Boy sale and the lady called me. Introduced herself as the Game Boy lady, so maybe that'll be the title of this video if I get this stuff. She did say they're looking to get $200 for it, which is a lot more than the $50 I offered. However, that's exactly the amount I just took out of the ATM. That was kind of a number I had in my head when I didn't really get a good look at everything. So I'm gonna go spend some time, take a look at it. I'm gonna see if I can get it a little cheaper than $200, but worst comes to worst, I'll probably end up paying it, and it'll probably still be a very good deal. So I did pick up the Game Boy stuff. I did pay the $200 for it. I tried to talk the lady down, obviously, but it turns out that her kids actually wanted more than $200 for it, and she had already talked them down on it because they had looked it all up online and stuff. And actually, I'm surprised I got it for $200 then, because I don't know how good of a deal that is, but as soon as I saw the Mega Man 5 in there, I was like, all right, $200, sure. I know it's a good deal, I just don't know how good yet. So I can rest easy now knowing that I got the Game Boy stuff. And honestly, the best part about this is she's got my phone number now. And I told her, hey, I know she's got more stuff. I know she does. And I told her, hey, you know, if you ever decide to get rid of anything else, you have my number, you know that I'll be right here for it. So anyway, there's a couple more sales in my town that I drove by this morning that weren't open yet. I'm gonna stop at those and then call it a morning. All right, I didn't find anything at the last couple sales, but that's perfectly okay. I'm very content with how this morning went. It's just like the stars aligned. I mean, I slept like crap last night. I had a bad feeling this morning, but I didn't have to work, so I wasn't in a real rush to get anywhere. It was payday, so spending $350 this morning didn't really break the bank. And then just everything from, you know, getting that Facebook message response, like, you know, as I was a half mile down the road, I turned around, I went back and scored that huge tub of, I don't even know what's in there yet. I have to go through it. I'm going to try to do a Facebook Live, actually, I think, on the bizzNES page when I get home, and go through it live, you know, get my reaction or something. And then just, you know, getting that call from the Game Boy lady as I was already heading back to her house. So anyway, let's get on to what's going to be probably a pretty long pickup recap here. So I'm going to do this Friday morning pickup recap in two separate parts because I got so much stuff. This is everything that I got from the sale that I got the Facebook message from right after I had left the sale, and I turned around for it. Originally, this is what I thought I was turning around for. A black Wii system with, I mean, the cords and stuff were in there, a couple controllers for the various systems that I got. But that's all I thought I was going to get from this sale. However, when I got there, he brought out the 64 stuff and this handheld stuff here. The highlights here being the Street Fighter 2 and the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Tiger handhelds. There's an original Game Boy here that I doubt is going to work. There's so much battery corrosion in the battery compartment, so I'm kind of writing that one off. But that's alright. The 64 system, and these are what I first noticed when he opened up the bin. Specifically this here, which is not the actual Donkey Kong 64 controller, but it is a gray controller with the Donkey Kong 64 sleeve on it, which I believe was like a Nintendo Power promotion giveaway thing that you had to send away for. I never had one of those before, so I knew that I had to have this bundle right away. There was also a blue and a red controller in there that were in pretty nice shape. And then the 64 games, which there's nothing too over the top in here, but he had all like the classics, you know, Mario Kart 64, Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, Star Fox, Donkey Kong 64, and all of these labels were like mint condition. I honestly thought some of these were fake at first just because of how good they looked. But I did open up some of these cartridges and they seem to be all legit. Just look like they're fresh out of the box. And then the Game Boy games here, there was nothing too special in here, although I think I need this wrestling game for my collection there. So he named his price for the 64, the handheld stuff, you know, the Game Boy and the other handhelds, and the Wii. Named his price of $40, which I happily paid. And I happened to ask him if he had anything else. He told me that he had some NES and Super Nintendo stuff that he didn't really want to sell. But I said, hey, you know, you got any games that you don't play? I'd be happy to take a look at them. So he went into his basement, and eventually his fiance just invited me down to the basement to look at his stuff. And this is what he had down there. Needless to say, I got him to sell it to me. But I mean, check this out. Mega Man X3, Secret of Mana, Lufia, Donkey Kong Lufia 2, Breath of Fire 2, Final Fight 2. I'm like not even doing this justice by just panning over these games here. But I just could not believe this. Those were like the main ones there, and then there was this stack of still decent but, you know, cheaper titles here. But then check this out. For the NES, Contra Force and Snow Brothers, both of which had their manuals. These are the two games that I saw in there originally, and I knew that there was no way I was leaving without this bundle. So actually I did a Facebook Live video on the bizzNES17 Facebook page where I actually, you know, unboxed essentially all this stuff because I only saw a few of the titles when I was actually there, and I got kind of like my live reaction through a Facebook Live video I did when I got home. So go check that out if you want to see like my actual reaction to seeing all this stuff for the first time and realizing what I had here. You'll have to scroll back a few days on the Facebook page, but the link to the Facebook page is in the description. There was also this PS1 system in there. He said he had his actual Super Nintendo system and some PS1 games. I'm assuming probably some RPGs that he, you know, couldn't find right then and there, but he's got my number, I've got his number, so I'm going to be following up with him on that, and maybe doing another pickups video for you guys in the near future from this same sale. So I'm going to clear myself some room here and move on to the Game Boy score that I also got this morning. So here is the Game Boy bundle that was on my mind all morning that I had to shell out $200 for, but still a very good deal. So I'm going to kind of skip over this stuff quickly here, a bunch of chargers and car chargers and whatnot. But here are the 3 systems that I got. 2 original Game Boy systems. One of them had a sticker on the front that said, you know, dim screen, but I tested them both while I was there looking through them, and they both seemed to work fine. So I don't know if they just had the contrast turned way down on one of them or something, but I believe those both work fine. And then an Atomic Purple Game Boy Color, pretty nice shape. This Game Shark Pro here, and then the games. So these first 3 games up top here are all shrink wrapped, but I believe the only one that's actually factory sealed is this Armorines here. This Tony Hawk is clearly not factory sealed. I mean, there's no cardboard insert. It's a Blockbuster rental, so I believe they just shrink wrap the box and, you know, put it out on display and rented out the cartridge. I mean, the front of the box is all sun faded. This one here, which I thought was factory sealed, but it does not have the H-seam on the back. I showed this one in the Facebook Live this morning, and the consensus was that this probably was not factory sealed, especially because it seems like there's some loose stuff in there. So I'm going to do a little more research on that before I actually open it, but I'll probably be opening that one. Rampage 2 for the Game Boy Color. This was actually just the box and manual. There was no cartridge for that one. But Asteroids was complete, along with these next 4 here, which were all minty and complete. Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Yellow, Dragon Warrior Monsters, and one for my collection, Gremlins 2, the new batch. I don't really collect too much for the Game Boy Color, so you know, I'll be keeping probably the Pokemon games for sure in this one, but the other ones, I know Ryan will probably be interested in that one. He always tells me what a good game that is. And then for the loose games here, some of these had the manuals as well, so you can see here, but we got some decent ones in here. Dragon Warrior 1 and 2, Metroid 2, a few more Pokemons in here. Oracle of, what is that one, Ages? Yep. There's the Final Fantasy, some more Pokemon, and 4 out of the 6 Mega Man games, I believe. And I think Mega Man 4 was the last one I actually needed to complete my set. I believe I have them all now. This was the one that, you know, I saw in there and I was like, all right, $200, sure, because I think this is worth probably half of that alone. So $200 for everything here, while it's a lot more than I originally offered, was, I think, still a steal of a deal. I mean, to get mint Pokemon games, you don't see those every day. So that's going to do it for Friday. I'm actually filming this on Friday, so I don't know if I'm going to pick anything up tomorrow yet. So either this will be the end of the video, or you will see my Saturday footage here.